Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kosha Gandhi and in today's video we will be talking about operators in Java. Now there are a huge set of operators which are available in Java. Most of these are very common operators like the arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, which are very straightforward operators. Beyond that, there are other set of operators like the bitwise operators which are not commonly used, or you can say they are hardly used in the language for actual implementations. Beyond that, there is one more set of operators which I think are very important, and as a developer we should be aware of both these operators because they help us in a lot of places. Now these two operators, as you must have already seen in the title of the video, are instanceof operator and ternary operator. Now both these operators play a very important role in their functionality. So we will be seeing an example today on these two operators of how they work and how they can be used in your code. Also, in my last video, I had spoken to you about various conditional and looping statements and how they work with each other and how you can leverage them in your code. And we had also seen them into a whole problem statement of shapes, wherein we had an I-shape interface and we had created various classes: circle, shape test, rectangle, square, triangle, and a shape area test class wherein we had tested all our looping and conditional statements. In this example also we will be continuing with the same project and we'll be using the same classes, that is circle, square, rectangle, triangle, all the various classes that we have. What we will be doing in today's example is we will be adding two methods here in this particular classes, and we'll see how we can use the instanceof operator and ternary operator in our code using these methods. So let's get started. So in this particular class, what I am going to do is that I will be adding one additional method here in the circle class, that is I will say public double calculate circumference. Now, in case if you don't know how this whole project is developed, what all various classes that I have in this project, what are the various methods, what are the various structures that I have built in this whole project, you can refer to my previous videos. I will give the link in the description box. I have also given links to these videos here at the top of the video. So I'll share the links of both the videos here on the top. I'll also share the link in the description box for you, so you can refer to those videos also if in case you're interested in learning how this whole project was built and how are we adding up new things to this particular project in every video. So for this particular circumference method, the logic is going to be simple. I'll say return math.py is going to be the field that we use. Now I have written this math.py first because I would want to talk a little about math.py. I had spoken about it in my last video also. Math.py is basically a constant that the math class provides, and math class is basically inside a java.lang package. As I have said earlier also, anything that falls into the java.lang package does not need an input. So for finding the circumference, we need to say 2 into pi into the radius. Okay, this is the formula for finding the circumference of the circle. So this will find the circumference of the circle and it will return it back. Now for the other shape, so let's take a rectangle here and we will add another method here. We will say public and we will say double and we will say calculate parameter. So here for circle we are calculating circumference, and for rectangle we are calculating perimeter. So the formula for calculating perimeter is basically you say so I'll first say return and you say 2 into the length, that is the length variable, and the plus you say the width. Okay, also what I'll have to do is I'll have to put this into bracket because I want the length and width to get added first and then I want it to get multiplied with 2. So this is how my whole formula will get created for calculating parameter. So as of now, let's just take two classes. Let's take circle and let's take rectangle and have these two methods inside both these classes. What I'll do next is I'll basically add another class in this particular test package of the shape project, and I will name this as shape action test class. So I'll say new, and I'll say class, and I'll say shape action test. Okay, and this particular class is going to have a main method, so I'll tick here in this checkbox so that it creates a main for my class. So this is my shape action class. What I'll be doing here in this particular shape action class is, firstly, I'll be creating an object to the scanner class. This is for taking the input from the user. Again, because scanner class does not fall inside java.lang, neither is it a part of my package, I will have to import it. Okay, so I'll have to say java.util.scanner. So I'll say scanner is equals to new scanner, and I'll have to import the scanner class, that is java.util.scan. Okay, once this is done, I'll also have to mention here system.in. This is for mentioning that the input is going to be a console input. Now the first system.out.println statement that I'll be writing is going to be please select an action. So I'll say please select an action. Okay, and I will take this particular action as input. But before that, I'll have to give them options on what all actions that they can select. So I'll say system.out.println, and I will say one is for circle, and again sysout. 2 is for rectangle. Okay, once this is done, what needs to be done next is we'll be taking the int. So I'll say int option is equals to integer dot parseInt, and we'll say scanner dot next line and a semicolon. So this will take the input, convert it into integer, and store it in the option variable. Now what I need to do next is that I need to create an object of the I-shape interface. If you remember, we had created this I-shape interface. So I'm going to create a reference variable of this I-shape interface here. I'll say I-shape shape and semicolon. So I'm just declaring it right now. Again, because this is not in the same package, this is into a different package, I'll have to import I-shape. So I'll say import I-shape, and what do I do next? So here is where my first operator will get used, that is the ternary operator. So what I'll do is I'll say shape is equals to I'll use the other operator here also. So in the same line of code, both my operators will get used, even my instanceof operator and my ternary operator. So what I'll be saying here is that if option is equals to 1, okay, then I'll say colon question mark, and I'll say new circle, because you see the first option is circle. So I'll say new circle. So what will this do? This will store the object of circle in the shape object. Then I'll say if that's not the case, if option is not equals to 1, in that case this is going to be new rectangle. Okay, and a semicolon. So again, I need to import the circle and rectangle class because they are into different package. So I'll just import rectangle and import circle. Okay, so it is imported both the classes. Once this is done, what do we do next now is that we need to check. Now we already have the shape. What we'll do now is we will create a method called as call action. So I'll create a method call action, and it takes the shape as an object into it. So and this particular call action method will be created in the same class, and I'll be creating it static, public static, because I don't want to create a object of the class to call the method. So I'll say call action. This is going to return void because I don't want to return anything from the method, and it will take the shape as an object, or you can say as a parameter in the method. Now what I'm doing is I will say if shape, and I'm using the second operator now, that is the instance of. So I'll say if shape instance of. You can see it has the color has changed because it's a keyword. The instance of word is a keyword, so the color has changed in Eclipse. So I'll say if shape is an instance of circle, let's see. In that case, again I want to take some inputs here. So what I can do is I can either pass the scanner object here. So that's what I'll do. I'll pass the scanner object here and I'll declare it here so that I don't have to recreate another object here. Okay, and then I'll say a sysout that says please enter radius. Okay, so I'll say please enter radius, and I will store it in a radius variable. So I'll say integer int radius is equals to, or you can even say double radius because it might be in decimal values also. So we can say double radius equals to double dot parse double, and we will say scanner, the object that we have, dot next line and semicolon. Once I get the radius, what I will be doing is that I will say circle. Now understand, we have already created the object of circle here. It has got passed in I shape. So we just have to say circle C and we'll typecast it. Now we know it is already an instance of the circle class. If this comes true, we already know it's an instance of circle. So we can outright go and typecast it to type circle, and we can say shape here. Then what do we need to say? We need to say C dot calculate circumference. So before we call the calculate circumference, there's one more thing that we need to do is we need to set the radius. So we need to say set radius and we can set the radius. So this is done. So what are we doing here? We are first asking radius as an input from the user. Once that is done, we are checking. Now because we already know here, we are already checking that shape is an instance of circle, we are automatically typecasting the shape object to type circle and assigning it to C. Then we are saying C dot set radius as radius, whatever has come as input. And then we are calling the calculate circumference method. Let's store this circumference in a double variable. So we'll say circumference and we store it in a variable here. And then we can do is we can have a sysout here. Okay. Inside this sysout, what we'll be saying is we'll say circumference of circle is equal to, or maybe colon, plus we can say the circumference variable. Okay, so this is done. Similarly, we have to say if, so there will be a lot of things that will be similar. So we can say if shape space instance of rectangle, then in that case, what do we want to do? Again, we want to take two things as input. That is, we want to take the length and the width as input. So what we can say here is, we can say sysout, please enter length. Okay, and we can store this in a variable, a double type variable again. So what we can do here is, we can say double length is equals to double dot parse double, and we can say scanner dot next line. Okay, once this is done, similarly we have to take the width as input. So what I'll do is I'll quickly copy paste this and change this to width. So I'll say width and I'll say store this in a width variable. Okay, once this is done, we need to again say rectangle. Now because as earlier I said, we have already checked that this is a shape type of, the shape is type of rectangle or instance of rectangle, we can directly outright say rectangle R is equals to rectangle and we can say shape. Once this is done, we can say R dot set length as length and we can say R dot set width as width, and finally we can call R dot calculate perimeter. Okay, for it, store this in a variable. We can say double perimeter, okay, is equals to R dot calculate parameter. Once this is done, we just need to say system.out.println, the way we've said here. We need to say sysout, okay, and we need to say perimeter of rectangle colon, and then we need to say plus perimeter. Okay, once this is done, I think our program is done. We just need to check whether it is running properly and working properly or not. So let's just try to run this program and see how it is behaving, whether it is giving us the values correctly or not. So let's just try to run this. So we'll say run, and it will say, do you want to save resources? I'll say yes, and it will ask me for please select an action. So let me select one here. It says circle, so I'll enter the radius. Let me enter the radius as 56, and it says the circumference of circle is 35185, whatever. And let's similarly again run this program once again, and let's select 2 this time, and it will ask me for length. So let me enter 87 as the length, and let me enter 45 as the width, and it will say perimeter of rectangle is 264. So you can see this program is working fine, and we have seen an example wherein here we saw an example of a ternary operator. So here we used a ternary operator, and below we also used the instance of operator, which was telling us whether the reference variable that we are talking about, is it an instance of a particular class or not. If it is true, in that case it will accordingly behave as we saw in this example. Hope you liked this video. If you liked my video, please click on the like button, subscribe on my channel, and please mention in the comments what you liked in my videos. Please give me your feedback on what would you like me to improve in my videos, or anything else that you would like me to make a video on. Please mention it in the comments. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.